fight on. It's time for Versus.
Fight time. Okay, so what are we
get it on.
Let's get it on. So, in this segment, we're going to be covering Versus. We're looking at Kenner versus Mattel. With
Two giants, eh?
Two giants of the toy industry. Absolute giants for many, many years. And we're also going to throw in a couple of honourable mentions along the way.
Definitely have to.
So let's start with Sean. Let's start with
I'm
your
Team
choice
Kenner,
there.
so
You're Team
I'm
Kenner?
going to go through Kenner here.
Okay.
Now, Kenner's highlights, there's a lot of movie tie-ins for Kenner toys,
There is,
right?
yeah.
And then a lot of detailed action figures. Like the toys that were, again, franchises and whatever. And I've got a few here in the list. Star Wars. Obviously. Big one, right?
Straight off the bat.
So, like, that's a pretty good start. Real Ghostbusters. Do you remember the cartoon for Real Ghostbusters?
I can't remember the real Ghostbusters, no.
It was a bit of a weird take on the movie Ghostbusters.
Okay.
I mean, you have your Ghostbusters stubby core that you use every week, every month. And the next one was the Batman animated series toys.
Oh,
Every kid had those,
right?
right?
They were cool.
92 they came out. One of the best designed toy lines I think ever made. Jurassic Park, so I'm already biased, I think, in this one.
Yeah.
But they also, Kenner had the license, right, for this group of toys, which was Aliens, Predator, RoboCop, Terminator.
Every kid's wet dream. Every boy's wet dream.
Absolutely. Like those are the big, like, because remember how there was Alien versus Predator? Do you know there was RoboCop versus Terminator?
I did not know that, no.
Yeah, they were in arcade games and I think some SNES games. So you had all these big franchises, a lot of boy ones. Kenner invented the 3.75 inch figure scale action figure. That's the size of the Stormtrooper I had in the previous segment. And it reshaped how figures were made. So they all ended up being kind of the same size, right, action figures for a long time.
Yep.
And they also had the little hole in the foot of the action figure. So you could put them on stands. That's Kenner.
That's Kenner.
Kenner invented that. There you go.
Okay.
It was a dream for collectors. They were detailed, character-driven toys full of accessories, and I think they made the toys that people really wanted to play with. That's what I think.
Okay.
What have you got?
Interesting. Very interesting. So I'm on Mattel. So core strengths of Mattel, they had colour, they had creativity, and massive mainstream hits. So some of those, the big one obviously was Barbie.
Yeah.
So again, as we said before, a cultural icon. Fashion, careers, movies, decades of evolution, as we just seen the movie recently come out a few years ago. And Barbie goes back to, what was it? Back to
59.
the 50s, yeah. So still hugely influential.
More so probably now than ever.
I think so, yeah. Yep,
Which
definitely.
is cool.
They also had the He-Man range and the Masters of the Universe.
You love it.
So I love it.
You
The
love
ultimate power fantasy toy line in the 80s. Every kid had
I
He-Man.
have the power!
Awesome stuff. Hot Wheels, as we said, Matchbox, endless cars, tracks, and competition. I don't know anyone our age that didn't or hasn't owned Matchbox car, Hot Wheels at some.
Every kid had like a box of them, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
You've probably lost 100 of them over your lifetime.
Yep.
Polly Pockets, again, portable, collectible little play sets, but extremely popular. And then, of course, the WWE action figures in the 90s. We spoke on a previous podcast about how big WWE and the wrestling was, and the toys were massive during that period as well. So
I've got a bunch of them.
Yeah. Really cool toys. Yep. So, a bit of trivia. So, Mattel turned Barbie's success into an entire Barbie economy, as we said. So, influencing TV, films, fashion, you name it. Barbie's
and even more, like I said, now, so more than ever, really.
Yeah. Absolute cultural icon. And the talking point is Mattel made the toys that everyone had. So, the universal hit. So
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Everybody had one of those toys at some point in their life.
Now, look, before we come to a decision on which one we think wins the versus for this segment, I want to do the honourable mentions. We'll start off with Hasbro, which is the other giant in the toy world, responsible for some of the most iconic 80s and 90s brands, including the big one, Transformers. Transformers,
huge.
Robots that could change from trucks to, robots. Robots in disguise. They're Transformers. I mean, it's such a good idea. But also Hasbro had G.I. Joe, which we know was the start of action figures, right?
Yep.
And there's a rich backstory there. My Little Pony, we talked about that before. And they've become very collectible. And what are they now? There's blokes that dress up like them called bronies.
Oh, God, yeah. This world these
Google
days,
that, but don't Google it at work because it can get pretty dark. You can go down the rabbit hole there. We can go down a hole. You'll go down a hole indeed.
I can
Anyway, we'll
imagine.
move on.
I
We'll
can
move on.
imagine.
And Nerf.
Oh yeah, Nerf. Yeah.
Nerf guns. Actually,
Actually, speaking of Nerf, again, very popular.
there you go. There's a Nerf gun.
That's
Look
Nerfy.
at this big boy.
There's
Yeah.
that many alliterations of these things. It's not funny.
I'm gonna shoot
Yeah.
one. Hold on, let me figure this out.
It's there's an incredible amount of.
I don't know how to do it, but Nerf guns. So Hasbro are responsible for Nerf. Oh, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing with Nerf guns, but there you go. But they were pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
What do we got next?
What do we have next? Playmate toys. So best known for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. Of course,
Definitely.
hugely popular in the 90s. Pop cultural phenomenon. Again, those toys were everywhere. Completely mainstream. And it was a lifestyle brand. Yeah, huge.
I think that's definitely their biggest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
The Turtles.
It was the
and the fact
Turtles.
that they're re-releasing them, I don't know if Playmates is the company that's re-releasing them. I'd have to check that out.
Somebody's probably
But,
picked up the licensing.
Probably.
They've been
What
sold
about Japan's big juggernaut Bandai?
Bandai.
We
yeah.
obviously talked about the old Tamagotchi. We know about those, but Power Rangers was a big one.
Yeah.
There were so many Power Rangers
Still
toys,
selling them,
and I mean,
yeah.
when I say toys, I'm talking like costumes, like you dress up as the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like they covered like everything.
Yeah, they
really.
were smart.
Dragon Ball Z was another one. Now
Is that right?
we kind of missed that. I think we
Yeah.
were a bit too old.
Yeah,
Like-
it was sort of the back end for us.
We missed
wasn't it?
Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z, but we definitely got into Power Rangers. That was a character-driven thing as well. Global appeal. Bandai. Here's a good one.
Oh yes. The infamous wrestling toy line that captured kids' imagination in the late 80s and the early 90s.
Yeah, you've talked about it a few times, actually.
Yeah, so the figures were best known for being a little bit fragile, but fans loved the detail and the playability. Titles included the WWF, wrestling figures, and the playsets. They become iconic collectibles. So again, they did everything in the wrestling. They did rings.
He's
all
talking
sorts
about
of stuff.
LJN. I'm sure you didn't say
sorry,
that because we're looking at a
yeah.
picture of it.
Yeah, sorry,
LJN with the
LJN.
little rainbow
Yeah.
logo.
The many colours of the
No,
rainbow.
no, just
not
a
that-
rainbow.
No, just a rainbow.
Just a
Okay.
rainbow.
That's
But-
Ween, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, there's a good ween song.
yeah.
But LJN make the shittest video games. They are fucking dog shit. Absolute trash. And I want to talk about Tyco.
Tyco, huge.
Just Tyco.
Yeah, Tyco's cool.
And also, I'll cover Tyco and Tiger Electronics, two different companies, but they were staples of the 90s toy shelves. Tyco was like cars, model cars,
Cars, yeah.
racing cars. Which, if you liked building model kits and building engines, it's like future engineers were building that stuff.
Yeah.
The Tyco toys.
They were, yeah.
But then the Tiger Electronics was like the Talk Boys, which you talked about another time. Handheld LCD games and Furbies. So Furby being the biggest seller. Tiger, Tyco, well that was Tyco. Big stuff. Interactive tech toys. Tiger handheld games are rad. We've talked about them in the past as well.
Yeah.
But I was a big fan of those. Now, alright, to wrap up the verses here, I think we need to go about the best-selling toy lines for each one. I'll go with the Kenner ones.
Yep, hit me with it.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, right?
Surprise, yeah.
1978, they started after the movie in 77, and Kenner have just pumped out a bazillion toys of Star Wars, but I like their Jurassic Park figures, I like their Batman figures. Again, they're the templates for movie toys. Franchises, big one.
Yeah.
Kenner's Crown Jewel is definitely Star Wars. Over 300 million action figures sold, and they're still going strong today. So that's Kenner's biggest highlight, I reckon.
So on the flip side of that, so we've got as a comparable, so we've got Mattel's best-selling toy line is Barbie, which we touched on. So again, sold truckloads of these things. Been going since 1959. Barbie's dominated the fashion world for decades, spawning thousands of different dolls and looks and playsets.
Even pregnant
vehicles,
ones.
Pregnant ones. You name it.
Ken's been busy.
Yeah, he's been very busy. He's had a lot of Barbies.
We assume
to
it's
contend
Ken.
with. Well, who would know?
We don't know.
Who would know? So for Mattel, this is really the crown jewel in their toy line. So over 1 billion of these things sold worldwide. Countless outfits, as I said, and still in toy aisles today. So Barbie's
Crystal
still out.
likes a Barbie.
Critic-
She mentioned
yeah,
her Barbie
Critic-
Playhouse,
she did,
not the
yeah.
choice. All right,
But
that brings us to, I guess, the
It
most
does.
important part, Wibbles.
It does, yes.
What do you got?
Well,
Who's the winner?
I'm going to have to say Kenner is the winner, only because it's
Mm-hmm.
more centered towards us, towards boys growing up in the 80s and 90s, I would say.
I think
where-
we've got a bias
Yeah,
on that
we
because
do. We do have a
we
bias.
definitely Mate, like, you and I both love Aliens, Terminator, Jurassic Park, Batman,
correct.
like
Those
Star
series they
Wars.
adopted,
We love
yeah.
that stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going Kenner.
I'm going Kenner
Kenner gets
too.
the V,
Kenner.
gets the victory. But you
Kenner.
know what, Mattel? Cool
Close
shit
second.
too, cool
A
stuff.
lot of cool
He-Man's
shit.
up pushes that for
Again,
us.
yeah,
but I
definitely.
mean, you know, you're talking about the giants.
Yeah.
They're just epic giants. But after all that, I reckon it's time to go and get into something sweet. It's time for Tuck Shop,
Oh,
and we're doing confectionery
sweetness.
part 3. Hang around.